The crew spent the night in a room filled with crushed velvet. As they tried to get rest, several somethings called at the door screaming for help, screaming for entry. They found themselves in a large cathedral surrounded by iron gates and glass jars. After opening the gates, the group was gifted 6 jars filled with despair by unnatural marmosets. The groups helped a large sphere of ink and were able to steal some for themselves. What will happen next? Will the group be able to find hell? Will they even survive? Find out that and more this week on Wandering Monster. Roll Initiative!
So you've just gotten this mark on your face, Jiles, from the ink elemental. It's cute. It kind of balls back and forth. It is like a glob of ferrofluid, and when you put it back in the jar, it just kind of hovers there. Sometimes it touches the side of the glass, leaving an ink print, but then you can see the little rivulets kind of pouring fingers off of it and then going back into the main body of it. Other than that, having all these fish skeletons coated, you're kind of waiting for something else to happen in the library in response to that. All the other times that you've seen there being some type of vandalism, there's been kind of a response. So the air is a little bit heavy with anticipation. But so far, nothing has happened. You know that you saw someone, again, kind of poking out from behind one of the bookcases earlier, but now you don't see any kind of movement or other things. At the far end of this chamber is a door leading out of here, and potentially from there, another passageway leading deeper into the Stygian library.
When in doubt, descend. Find the way to descend.
Should we see if there's anything else in the room?
Hell is downward.
We raided the room already, right?
I don't believe so.
Well, we should loot the room.
Then why don't you roll me a D30?
4.
So as you are going through, actually, why don't you tell me where it is you're searching? You remember all the books that are on the bookshelves are stained black from the outside from ink, and various surfaces in this place are also drenched in that same ink. Where are you looking?
The non-ink related areas.
So the thing you find most curious is that there is, well, it looks like part of the wall is coming up a bit. Like there's a bit of wallpaper that is curling up.
Okay. And this wallpaper that's curling up, is it near a bookshelf or is it just kind of by itself?
It's along the wall in between 2 bookcases.
I go to the bookcases next to it and I start to pull each book one by one to see if it's a trapdoor situation to open it. And if that fails, my new response is to grab the wallpaper and yank.
So, how many books do you pull in this attempt? Or are you just pulling one by one until you say stop?
I would probably not go any more than 10 before I'd get bored and yank the wallpaper.
So, the rest of you are watching Abernathy plucking these books and putting them back one after another. Is anyone doing anything to stop him, interact him, ask him what he's doing, or are you just going to let Abernathy do Abernathy things?
Do I still have that moth?
Yes, it's in a sack. It very much wants to get out.
It wants to get out to eat our metal.
I think it just wants to get out to be friendly. All moths are very friendly, or so they'll tell you.
Yeah. I watch Abernathy for a couple of seconds and then kind of plop down on whatever elevated surface is nearest and kind of slosh my bottle of anguish around, peering at the liquid inside.
It's more of a vapor.
I'm just,
so it does-
I'm just watching him do it, like kind of gleefully rubbing my hands and hoping he's going to crack it open and inhale the whole thing.
Anguish is not usually the feeling that most people want, right? It seems odd that they would bottle it.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot that I do want the best for your player characters. So, yeah, anguish is generally considered bad. Maybe that's why they bottled it. Maybe they got it all out, and that's where it went.
Perhaps we can use it as a weapon then. Imagine a foe's a mighty minotaur. Do you have minotaurs in this world? I mean, on the surface, where I'm not from because I'm a drow.
I'm honestly not sure if we have minotaurs.
Yeah, I knew a Minotaur in college. They're party animals.
Imagine a minotaur drunk off the ganja is coming after us. And I lob this at him. It cracks against his masculine, burly chest. And bam, he goes to listen to sad music.
Did he say
It
drunk
could be
like
quite the
ganja?
weapon.
No,
I was going to point it out first, but you got to it before I did.
You're just
Drunk
describing
off
my
the
college
ganja.
experience.
So Abernathy's, you're pulling these books. You pull 7, 8, 9, and that section of wall has not changed yet. There's not even any type of flicker of movement in that wallpaper. It still sticks a little bit curled, and you think you can see writing behind it.
So all these books he's pulling are off of the first or second shelf, right? Just to be clear.
That sounds accurate. I hop up for the 10th book, grab one off the 3rd shelf, and then when that does nothing, I just kind of drop it to the ground and I yank the wallpaper.
Roll me a strength check.
I'd like to pick the book up and put it back because we know that we are going to get in trouble if we leave anything disturbed.
So remember,
better
Abernathy, that
than
you're
you found
rolling
it.
your stat or under.
Good. Because I rolled a 3.
I saw your hand. So you rip this off in one fell swoop. There is weird, mad gibberish written on the wall itself and along the underside of the piece of wallpaper you've ripped off. There are kind of some odd, almost arcane-looking sigils and some weird doodles on it as well.
Is any of us? I forget. Do any of us speak anything esoteric? Would any of us recognize that?
I don't.
Who's looking at it?
I would imagine
Abernathy.
resident mage, magi, magus, wizard, great one. What is your actual title again, friend?
You're going to do.
Jamie to
I'm
do
Jiles the
chats.
Bland, apprentice and ward to Midorius the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, and the mightiest wizards in all the land. I'll look at the writing.
Ah, excellent. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe you founded the order.
No.
So amazing. No?
I'm merely an apprentice to the Midorius the Blue, master.
I lean over
Okay.
to Girthwood. What is an apprentice?
I think it's something like a ward.
Oh, so he dresses in tights and fights crime with a much older man.
Correct.
Invigorating.
I'd say so. All right,
It would
so-
explain the wardrobe. So, Giles, as you look on this with your learned eyes, you would readily recognize this as a scroll.
Ooh.
It's something that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, can I decipher what the scroll is?
So that is something that you would need to use read magic for. It's written in such a way that it is.
Sorry to break in, but brainstorm. Like, how much of this wallpaper is there? Like, how much of it is showing?
Well, Abernathy ripped off a huge swath, and it seems to be just a scribble. Like there's some symbols and stuff on the back wall, but most of it is written on the inside of this piece of wallpaper, and it peters off. It looks like the area you ripped off has most of the content that was written.
I just wonder if all the wallpaper has magic on it.
I mean, there's one way to find out. Proceeds to rip more wallpaper off the wall.
Roll me another strength check.
Has Abernathy done tweak today?
Hey, that's actually better. 2.
So you rip another swath of this off. It rips off with a loud shredding sound, and nothing is on the other side.
Okay,
He's
Abernathy,
doing it
that's a
He
disappointment.
is doing it wrong. Excuse me. I happen to know a thing or two about how you test magical wallpaper.
Okay, so you know how to test magical wallpaper. You've hung out with super high wizards building a castle. Okay, by all means, please rip the wallpaper off.
No, I'm not going to rip it off. I'm going to lick the wallpaper.
Does it taste like snozberries?
I'm going to see if I get anything.
Are you going to lick it?
I'm going to lick it.
I thought that was for geology, actually.
It's multi-purpose as a scientific.
You see Skarskin like pull out a notepad and like write in big spidery letters something because it's not in common, but he's like, okay, lick everything to determine what it is. Underline it twice.
Just put it in your mouth. That's right.
Scrax, what did you say you rolled for your strength check?
A 19.
A 19. Great. And at the same time, Giles, roll me a d6.
Okay. That's a 1.
A 1. Okay. Great.
So as this is going on, I'm going to take the scroll that was that Abernathy ripped off. I'm going to see that Scrax is licking the wall, and I'm just going to go walk across the room and sit down and stare at this and just realize that if somebody was to come into this room and see what we're doing, we're going to have to pay more gold that we do not have.
Or they come in and I throw my anguish at them. And then we still have to pay gold, but they're real sad about it.
Yeah. And I'm going to be sad about it too.
I could probably make them covet something we have that isn't gold, since I've got a big old jug of envy to throw at somebody.
Maybe we can make them want my moth.
What if we just hit the wall with the tar thing, and that way it's all covered in soy sauce, and then it won't look any different? No one has to know what we did.
They're gonna know.
So Scrax, as you attempted to rip another section of wallpaper up, you feel your fingernails, or I guess talons, claws, kind of peel.
I didn't rip it off. I just licked it.
Oh, you licked it. I thought you were ripping off. So this was. You don't need to roll for licking. Licking is.
I want to just. Okay.
Okay. So
It
it doesn't.
For licking.
Roll for
the
licking.
new podcast.
Do you have a forked tongue? Are you licking just one piece of wallpaper or both? Like 2 pieces at once?
What is
Yeah,
the
your
wallpaper?
lizards
Is
have
the wallpaper
tongues.
striped? Is it?
It has little kind of, it's like a sea foam green, and it has an odd pattern. You're not sure if it's supposed to be some type of artistic floral repeated symbol, or if it's just a random sigil, a scribble, but it's repeated almost kind of like in a diamond shape across the wallpaper.
I gotta warn you real
So-
quick. If it's seafoam green like that, and given our time period that we're likely in, it probably has arsenic in it, and you're licking it. Go ahead. By
That
all
is
means.
true.
Just a little lick.
And it-
Just a little lick.
Is that true about seafoam green?
Might not have been seafoam green, but yeah, they used arsenic in wallpaper for a while.
Especially in the green family, it is true. It's wallpaper swatches from the Victorian era. So it tastes like stale glue and dust. There's also a redolence of ink and, again, maybe heavy metals, something bitter on top of all of that. Giles, can you roll me a d12?
Okay. It's a 9.
9. Great. Okay. Also, give me a d3.
That's a 1.
All right. Perfect. So, anyone else wanting to do things in this room? Other actions?
I'm good.
No, I think we should probably move on and deliver this blood-soaked package, and that's it, I guess.
The classic maneuver, the lick and dash.
Mm-hmm. We've all been there.
Mhm.
Apparently, you're playing a bard in this campaign. So, did I hear that you were wanting to descend to the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna go down
When
on
in
it.
doubt, descend.
So, you take a chunk of time, about 10, 15 minutes, because time feels a little bit odd as you begin to descend the level, finding the staircase down, and then going into that strange liminal place between the levels. As you are going between these levels, you hear weird echoes reverberating through antiquity and the various halls of time. Things that are repeated backwards, things that echo against shapes that should not exist, maybe hinted at non-Euclidean geometry somewhere. What are some of the strange things that you hear as you begin to descend through the strange space?
Cicadas?
So
I
what
just
you're
hope we wind up in a future library.
what do those cicadas sound like? Are you hearing the sound of wings, or is it buzzing? What is it?
It's like you recorded the sound of cicadas trying to, like, mate and all that, but then you recorded it on a tape deck, and then you recorded that recording on a tape deck, and then you recorded that recording on a tape deck about 5 or 6 times.
But oddly,
So-
also the crunching sound of walking on cicada shells.
Yeah. That's like a new recording on top of the other recording.
So there's a very strange droning sound that kind of echoes. And as you're going down the staircase, that sound is getting louder. And you realize it's not just echoing throughout this strange infiniteness that it surrounds you, but it seems to be coming louder and louder as you approach the next door. It's a very large Gothic archway, thick old wooden door with black wrought iron rivets through it. The hinges stick out just like arms. Has a large, instead of a doorknob, it's an iron ring on the door. And that sound is just kind of vibrating the door.
Oh, the last time we came to door, I just opened it and yelled surprise. It worked out pretty well. Is in, whose turn is it? I went last.
I'd like to just put my fingertips against the door and feel the vibration for a second and see if
Okay.
I can detect any, like, is it increasing and decreasing? Does it feel, like the door is vibrating too? Is the, ring jingling? I mean,
So You put your fingers on it. Roll me an intelligence check.
Oh boy, I'm screwed. I mean, I am a dumbass dwarf. Maybe not. That's a 6. I think I passed
Okay,
that.
you would pass then.
Yeah.
So with just your fingertips, you're feeling this, and it's hard to know exactly what's happening. It is a sound and vibration that is mostly constant. Sometimes there's a little of a ripple of even more energy that kind of vibrates things a bit more. It's not regular. And so with your knowledge of engineering, it's nothing mechanical or at least clockwork that is causing the vibrations.
Okay. I relay all that to the group. I mean, it's not mechanical. It's got to be valuable information at least.
Can I see anything with my infravision that might be letting out some extra heat?
I've got that too.
So that would make you would have to kill the rest of your light sources in order to fully utilize your infravision. Are you wanting whoever's carrying your light source to snuff it?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
cool with the dark. Because I'm a lizard.
But is the rest of people who have unmodified ours, are they okay with that?
You're on mute, John.
I also have infravision, so I'm cool with it.
As a normal human worm, I cannot see in the dark and am scared of small dark places.
I am actually a normal human worm. No.
Same as me.
Yes. I cannot see in the dark as well, so I'm going to have my hand on your shoulder, and I'll have you guide me. And then...
Why don't you two hold hands so
Yeah.
and then we can guide you along.
I grab Giles's hand and squeeze it reassuringly. There are a concerning number of joints within my fingers.
Yeah, I was going to say, nothing about that is going to be reassuring.
No.
So Giles, how fleshy does that hand feel?
Not
I'm
terrible. Should we just go through the door? I mean, it's dark.
It is a
here
normal
now.
human hand.
It is normal, and it is normal hand.
I have normal human paws, just like you.
Hand. It's a hand, not a paw.
Hands.
Yes.
Hands.
Yes.
No. Normal human palps, just like you.
So it sounds like you are then snuffing the light source?
Yes.
Okay. Couple of things happen. So Jiles and Skarsson, I need both of you to roll me agility checks, while Skrax, as you are looking at the door, as well as you, Girthwood, you see there is a lot of heat on the other side of this room. The heat trails ripple and even pour out from underneath the door. The metal, it is all glowing with heat. Not hot like it would burn you, but you can tell that the heat source on the other side of the door has been consistent enough that it's heated everything evenly. So Skarsson and Jiles, what did you get?
Dex check.
Yes.
I got a 19. I did not pass.
Okay.
I got a 4.
There is the sound of feet, boots, something slapping against stone very fast in the direction that you came. There is the sound of it stopping suddenly, an odd whoosh sound like the rippling of sails, and something smacks hard into the back of Jiles, knocking you by your footing off the staircase. You're holding hands with Skarsson. Skarsson, you hold steady and you hold Giles' hand, as he is flung off the side of the staircase. I need you to roll me a strength check.
1 second. Okay. I rolled a 3.
Okay, so you have a firm grip of him, and your normal human feet are gripping the ground very tightly, and you're able to hold him there.
As human feet are able to do.
Normal human feet, absolutely. All those extra joints that human feet have are very helpful.
Yeah, the better for gripping.
gripping the ground with
Skarskin
mine
cusses
right now.
in Spider.
One of you
Son of a
understands
bitch.
that. Do you pull Giles back up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
All of you are
Yes.
very surprisingly quiet of this whole exchange.
Giles
Almost getting
just take
flung
a
into
round
the
in the
abyss.
back? I mean, no, I'm just waiting to hear that he's okay. Like, has Giles been struck with a quarrel or something?
It's not sure. Whatever it was, it didn't pick up in your infravision.
Did I take
Okay.
any damage from
Giles,
that?
sound
You-
off. Are you injured, buddy?
Your back feels a little bruised, but you didn't take any damage from that. But you almost were flung into the interminable abyss between levels.
Yeah, I'm okay. Got the wind knocked out of me. Thanks.
Let's go ahead and relight
Yeah.
those lanterns, everybody, or torches or whatever.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
You know, I
Yes.
understand. If you ever get off like in the middle of 2 floors, then you'll find a little doorway, and if you go into it, then you'll be inside of John Malkovich's head. I'm just saying, if you wanted to go that route,
As you light
Next
the
time.
light sources, you hear another strange echo. It sounds like someone saying, "It sounds like a cicada," as if you took a recording of a cicada and made a recording of that tape. And just kind of
Liminal
echoes onward.
spaces.
Well, Giles doesn't want to be here anymore, so he's going to go open the door.
Is Giles talking about himself in the third person?
Giles has had a
before
rough day.
Giles does.
don't forget to yell
I'm gonna-
surprise.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do want to convey to him before he does that it's hot. Not like set you on fire hot, but whatever's in there is hot. The door's warm. It's highly energetic. Whatever's going on in there.
It's very sexy in there.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
it's a lot better than falling down the abyss over there.
I wouldn't
thank you,
let my
We don't
fellow
know that for
human
sure yet.
fall.
and I appreciate that. And I'm going to open the door.
He only saved you for your blood. Just know that.
Why would you
That
say
is
that?
a
That was
That's
a whisper. That was a whisper from one member of the party to the other.
I am holding Giles's hand. I'm right there.
And you're very high up. I don't think my voice carries that far.
I would like to lean over and murmur a question into John. What's your name? Scar?
Skarskin.
Yeah, Skarskin. I'm gonna whisper a question into your ear, which is like, if he'd fallen, you would have been able to thwip him, right? And I make the universal, Spider-Man gesture when I say that. And then
He was
explain
in
what
he was
whipping
in no
is.
danger.
Okay, good.
He's in no
good,
danger,
good.
and I have no interest in eating his liquefied organs. Hardly any interest at
Okay.
all. So
Hardly any
rude.
interest. Good.
So you're saying
Good.
there's
Okay,
a
sorry,
chance.
just checking.
Giles, could I have you roll me D8?
A D8. 6.
Okay.
That's how many times you get set on fire.
Okay.
So when you open
Yes.
the door, Giles, you feel like Girthwood has said that the handle is warm to the touch. It's like the temperature of blood, and it's a little bit unnerving. You pull the door open, and you are hit with a couple of smells. The first one is shredded paper, like the dust that comes from creating books or tearing apart books. You smell something acrid, very similar to how your ink elemental smells, but also the smell of congealed blood. And on top of that, this almost floral, sweet smell with the hint of sweat. When you open the door, you see this was at one point a spacious library interior, rich, old growth woods, various deep colored woods, beautiful bookcases, floor to ceiling, presumably full of books at one point, but all of them have been shredded and book covers just litter the floor in heaps. Whereas on the center of the wall is this paper mache mass. It is granulated and pocketed with lots of holes in it. And you see that there are these massive bees that are whiter than your, like the big meaty fist of Girthwood going in and out of the holes. That sound of droning and wings buzzing just gets so much louder. It's this intense drone that fills your ears and it makes your jaw vibrate. Off to the side of this giant paper beehive, you see that there looks to be a figure wearing green, like a green jerkin with leather like greaves and gauntlets and a pointy hat. Is kind of sucked into the paper mache. He looks at you with kind of like wide eyes, and you can see that his fingers thrashing a bit.
I'm going to slowly close the door, and I'm going to turn around to the group.
Jason Statham in that last movie of his.
The beekeeper?
Giles, what was the maneuver you say you were doing?
I was going to slowly close the door to not draw any attention to myself, turn around to the rest of the group, let them know what is going on, and see how we want to proceed.
Well,
Mother of Glob.
you should have said surprise. First mistake.
Well, there's a bunch of bees. My short in stature friend.
Now,
Wow.
are any of the bees like separated from the mass? Like any are easy to maybe grab and stick in a web somewhere? Just, I'm trying to get a good picture of what it's like in there.
Where are we gonna
Wait,
get
are
a
we
web,
all
though?
just ignoring the Keebler elf?
Look, bees can survive for 10 hours underwater. Okay? This is a pretty big threat.
Are we underwater?
No,
Don't
but it's the only bee fact I have.
You know, a lot of games talk about how their parties are a bunch of crazed murder hobos. We're just a bunch of incompetent weirdos.
I love you.
We're already losing money on our first job and everything.
Oh, did the party go and kill everyone? No, they were too incompetent to even find anyone to kill.
They actually never left the inn. Never left the tavern at all. They got
Why would we?
really
There's monsters
engrossed
out
in
there,
a-
guys.
Yeah, it's
They got
terrifying.
really engrossed in betting on a game of checkers and wound
They
up
kept
in
rolling to
debt.
chug beers.
Yeah.
Then two of the party members got drunk out of character and started hugging and talking about how good of friends they were. Hey Charles, by the way, let's get in on that.
All right, so there's another short
Yeah.
guy in there.
I don't know
Do
if
we
there's
wanna
a short guy.
like-
Giles, when you look at the person, it looks like a full-size, presumably human, if maybe not a half-elf by stature.
But is he
Yes.
dressed like the Keebler elf?
Or is he
No,
dressed
wearing
like Jason
green leather.
Statham?
Neither.
He
He's
could be a
plastered to the
cool-
wall
He could be
with-
a cool pagan medieval movie guy, like in the Green Knight. Knight.
Okay, so he's
don't
kind of like the fourth Alien movie where they've got the people like glued to the wall. Is that what we're visualizing?
What are
I
movies?
fucking forgot that there's a fourth one. Yeah, what are these so usually when you deal with bees, I know as a dwarf, no, but I've heard other people talk about beekeeping. I'm sure. You want to deal with like smoke? Could we make smoke to puff into there and like mellow the bees out, so to speak? IRL Charles could help with that, but in game Girdwood, not so helpful. But do we have anything that we could fan smoke under the door or whatever? Because that causes them to go dormant or whatever. I think.
I mean, you have a mask from the first game session, so you could probably put that on, and you'd be protected from bee attacks.
It has some. Let me just make sure of it has some sort of grill. It says it's a Crusader grill or I don't know what the fuck that means. So, yeah, I am a tank. I could go in there. You want me to just go in there and grab the Keebler guy and bring him back out?
Oh, follow me on this. Ask how his day is doing. Go, hey, what's with the bees? You want to come out here and talk away from the bees? And see if he's receptive to this. And then regardless of what he says, rip his ass off the wall and bring him out here.
Did I happen to notice a door on the other side of the room?
Or maybe he is the door.
It seems as if a lot of the room is plastered in pockets of hive or are covered in bookcase. You didn't immediately see one, but the room's basic was pretty dominated by this giant beehive.
Okay. I do like the idea of getting him and ripping him out, but I don't think going back the way we were. I think we need to progress. But there's also bees. Huge bees.
Oh, they're bees. Come on, guys. We can take some bees.
Unbelievable.
Nobody's allergic
You mean
to
like
bees,
in a doggy
right?
bag or to go? What do you mean?
To go.
Yeah, when we're done, as many as you want, buddy.
I see this as a complete win.
Yeah.
So
Bees are not going to bother us if we don't bother. Bees are not going to bother us if we don't bother them, unless you smell of banana. Do any of you smell of banana?
I don't believe so. No.
I have
Negative.
no idea what a banana smells like.
Goodwood, I know for a fact you've never
smells like
eaten
banana.
a fruit.
I don't think I smell
That
like
is
banana.
true.
Has anyone had any Belgian beers? This matters right now.
Wow.
Not
Paschke's
recently.
full of facts about bees. No.
No, it's more the Belgian yeast strain having a banana-like aroma. Anyways. Ian,
no,
verify?
bees-
Say I'm wrong? Got my beers crossed?
no, you're correct. Some of the different phenol groups can smell, or esters can smell of banana. I was
Bees emergency like go to war scent smells like bananas.
that seems like someone is doing some Googling on the side.
Nope. One of my good friends just got 2 beehives.
No.
She just started beekeeping.
I have been, and I was even checking, can spiders smell for just, I don't know.
That's a good question. Yes, they can.
Why would we check
I
about
didn't know
spiders
that.
when we should be concerned about vampires?
Yeah. What?
What about
Vampire-
do spiders eat bees?
Oh my god, bees nuts. We should be getting out of this room.
Okay.
I
So
couldn't
what-
figure how to fix that in here. I'm so happy you did it. Thank you.
What action are you doing? I've heard a couple of things start, but I haven't heard a fully committed to action. I heard something about maybe running in there
Let's
and
all go in there. We've got to make progress. It's a room. It's got bees in it. We are more powerful than bees, especially when we unite like Voltron. So let's go do that.
Does anyone have any allergies that we should be made aware of before we enter the room?
Not that I'm aware of.
I already asked that.
You did.
Yeah, well, I'm asking
Yeah.
now. Not in game.
Also,
Actually.
does everyone have their Yi EpiPen?
Ye old EpiPen.
Ye old EpiPen.
Like made out of wood with a big old like steel spike on one end.
Yeah, that old internet meme. Yes, I have my EpiPen. It's very important to me. My friend gave it to me before he died. He just held it out to me as he was like barely having his last breath. And he said, "Here, have this." And then he died of a bee attack. Keep it and think of him.
Are you sure he wasn't saying, "Please help me, not here, have this"?
I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Too late now.
I go back to the door.
I'm just imagining.
Thank you. So you go back to the door.
Yes, yeah. We're gonna go in there. Yeah. And to satisfy Abernathy, I give it the boot, the old dwarven hobnail, and I yell, "Surprise!"
That right there, Mr. Elf, is how it's done.
Okay,
And
so
who's an elf? I'm not an elf.
Well, technically, I am.
Yeah.
Elves
So-
can't be vampires.
You're right. Ergo, I can't be a vampire. I'm a.
Am I immediately
I
stood upon by
from
bees?
dark elf to be racially charged.
it's a very good question, Girthwood. Can you roll me 2d6?
I'd be happy to. Is that how many bees attack me? Let's see.
Yes.
Well, I rolled a 1 and a 5, so I'd rather it be 15 and 51 if that's possible.
Okay, so you rolled a 6.
I mean, in terms of number of bees that attack.
Oh, something perhaps altogether different. As you were committing to the action of kicking in the door and yelling surprise, what are the rest of you doing? Who's following on his heels?
I am.
I'll be right behind Scars.
We stick together. Friends that stick together die together, baby.
That
Like
is-
peanut butter and jelly.
That's probably true.
Oh man, ride or die is a great motto.
No, the friends together, die together thing. I'm not feeling that one.
Well, that might not be able to be helped.
Oh, boo.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Ian is making a call. This is the last game.
No, I'm more frantically trying to find one very specific table because I'm trying to make sure you're not as
Specifically, the which organs explode when stung by giant bees table.
How did you know?
I think
I
Do you
actually
have to-
contributed that table to this book.
is
What
this
were
a
you saying,
slide
Abernathy?
rule problem or
Sorry,
a
buddy.
calculator problem, Ian?
Girthwood. Oh no, perfectly fine. Oh great! So you kick open the door and shout "surprise!" So you slam the door back, making a loud sound. It smacks a section of the hive, and there's this immediate
Oh, great.
like upsurge in droning sound. 4 of these giant, like hand-sized bees snap to attention and start to close in on your position. More bees.
I literally
begin to-
kicked the beehive. That's great.
you kind of did, and that's why I was like, oh no, this is not great. The other. You can see that there are other bees beginning to poke their heads out from the various holes inside the giant bee's nest. The guy who is plastered inside the bee's nest and just rolls his eyes at you. So
We're leaving
roll-
him.
roll
We're
me
leaving him
initiative. We'll do round robin. Let's see who rolls. So that's
D6, right?
correct.
I rolled
I got-
a nat 1.
I got a 4.
I also got a 4.
No, I had a
Got the
4
2.
first.
I had a 4 better.
I will
You're
I will
right.
go. I will go with Abernathy, because I also believe Abernathy has the higher dex as far as the split goes. So as far as round robin, we're going to do it visual from my field, which is going to be Abernathy, followed by Girthwood, followed by bees, followed by the rest of you.
We don't even get a turn order. It's just bees and then the rest of us. What is this, the cast of Gilligan's Island?
It has been the same round robin that has always happened, and it just happens to be bees.
Bees.
That
And
happened
the rest.
after Girthwood.
Bees, 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 bees. Everybody, bees, bees. Sorry,
Oh,
I was possessed by Little John there for a second.
Yeah.
Abernathy.
All right, so Abernathy, what do you got?
I've got a whole lot of nothing since my barrel was eaten by rust moths. I do have my dagger that stabbed a book, and a spear and a slingshot. I don't know what I can really do against bees, guys.
Stab one of them?
You want to use one of your class abilities?
Yeah, but how is that going to be useful in this scenario? Okay. I start to grab some paper mache and I start to use my ability to make the yeah. So I haven't used my new ability yet, but I would like
Are you making a SpongeBob pinata?
close.
You laugh. You want to tell them what your class is?
So, you see, I am skilled in a number of ways that you don't understand. Starts to grab this stuff and grabs some bee residue and works it and makes a puppet of a queen bee and starts to try to entrance the other bees to fall in with the queen bee does. Or am I?
You're doing a couple different actions that are slightly different than rules written.
What are rules as written? Yes.
So on your character sheet, looking under the ability section, you can spend a round action to build yourself a puppet, and you can pick the puppet type.
Yeah.
That is either a marionette, a shadow puppet, hand puppet, or a rod puppet.
I believe hand puppet is the only logical thing in this scenario. Shadow puppet, not going to be able to get the bee's attention very well. Yeah, so I'm going to build a hand puppet of a queen bee in my round action so that I can control the bee swarm.
Okay, I'm trying to tell you that's not how your ability is going to work.
I'm trying to see if I can get away with it, but you're right. You're the GM, and it's not going to work. Okay. So
then you take your round to figure out which of those puppets you want to build, and that can be used on your next turn.
Thank you.
All right. That brings us to you, Girthwood.
Just to clarify, is his class puppeteer?
Yes.
Is that an option? And I didn't know it?
Yeah, that's right. I've watched all of the Puppet Master movies at least once. And Puppet Masters, which is not the same universe.
Do you remember the 2 times that you guys strung up Abernathy and then manipulated him like a marionette?
Yeah.
He was asking for it.
Saying he picked up with some things.
This is fine. This is fine.
Maybe it is Shadow Puppet, and it is not how I was hoping it would work. Okay, yeah. Shadow Puppet's what I'm going for.
Okay, that's a good choice. Better choice than hand puppet for the scenario.
Yes, it is.
All right, Girthwood.
I'm trying to see what skills I may have gained while I was away.
Fighters or just
in
get
the
better
grog barrel.
stats?
Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna swing at some bees with my axe. Ideally, I'd like to think that a dwarf is smart enough to swing not edge on, but rather like a fly swatter at them. Sideways, like a tennis racket. But I don't know. We'll just see if I can hit one or two of them and kill them, I guess, or one of them. Yeah, target nearest bee, kill with axe.
All right. Roll me your attack.
You got it. That's a pass. That's a 5 with my modifier on a 14. So
But you're not rolling a strength check. You're rolling an attack, so doing ascending AC. So
You're
it
right.
is your
My bad.
D20 plus your modifier. So your battle axe is +1 modifier.
yeah, and it's 7. So that I rolled nat 7.
Okay, so you swing, and you're trying to swing with the broadside of your axe, and it is a little more less aerodynamic, let's say, than if you're doing blade on, and the bee just dodges over it, droning. It locks its big glassy eyes on you and moves in for the sting. Roll. So it comes in and it rolls to sting you. Your AC is 15. It
Yeah, I'm not worried.
launches itself right into your chainmail, and you feel it an impulse as if someone had thrown a very large pomegranate at your chest, but the stinger is stuck inside the weave of your chainmail and doesn't get through. The next bee swings in, trying to sting, and again, just tries to stab, and you can feel its stinger beginning to wiggle into your shoulder padding, but it doesn't seem to connect. Another bee goes straight for you, sticks in you, feel it scratching around, can't get purchased through your chainmail. They buzz maddeningly loudly. The fourth bee comes up, and as you are laughing, it sticks you in the helmet, like right through that grill, and shanks you
that
in
bastard.
the face.
Oh no.
Little bastard. How many points is that?
Roll me a D8.
Okey-doke. Let's see. Is that one an 8? No. Let's see about this one. Who has a D8 and wants to roll it
I
for
do.
me
I'll
while I'm
roll.
looking for my own?
I rolled
Okay, cool.
5. So you take
I'll take that.
5 points of damage that blast your face as you recoil
Fuck.
from the damage of being harpooned in the face by this bee. It pulls back and it rips out all of its intestines and guts in a string, and it falls to the ground. The stinger is still stuck in your face, and you see like this pulsing sack of venom and intestines, and the bee on the ground is like wiggling its little legs up. The rest of the bees that are stuck into your armor screech, and you see other bees beginning to flood into the room. Top of the initiative as far as visual field is going to be you, Scrax.
Oh, I'm muted. All right. I am going to, I'm going to tail whip at some bees. I haven't used my tail
Ooh,
at all
cool.
yet. Yeah. So let me see. Okay. Let's see what's instead. And I got a bloody 2.
So you roll a d20 and
Yep.
you. Oh, so
Yeah.
you are you attacking the bees that are stuck to Girthwood's armor, or the bees that are about to be propelled from the nest?
I think the one's on his armor.
All right, so you just smack that, like, the bee, like, so you smack him, and it basically just rattles that harpoon-like shank in his face more, and it digs into his gums.
Oh.
Sorry, man. My bad.
Does it do any additional damage?
It doesn't, but one of your teeth feels loose.
That's one hell of a bee sting.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, guys, don't kill the ones that are attached to me, please. I don't feel like I had to say that, but I did.
Which is great because it's Garzin's turn.
All right. I'm going to step past. Actually, Charles is in front, right? Girthwood.
Yeah.
I step past Girthwood so that I'm in front of between everyone and the bees. I open my robe where the party can't see what I've done, and I am going to release a cloud of hair. Cloud of hairs and stuff. 15 by 15 feet, I believe. 15 by 15 area in front of us, where filling the room. Which, hey, roll your fucking eyes now, jerkwad.
No, I was being
between us and the
serious.
bees. No,
All
not
right,
you.
so-
The guy in the wall who rolled his eyes at us.
All right. So, are you wanting to also target the bees that are on Girdwood, or just the ones that are about to come out of the nest?
Just past. I am creating a buffer between us and the rest of the bees.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure
Well
how
done.
much damage you may or may not be doing to Girdwood,
I
because
step-
Girdwood just got shanked.
So here's Girthwood. I step past him, and everything is going this way.
I hear that. I thought it'd been funny if you just accidentally killed Girdwood.
Nope.
I just wanted to be sure.
I-
How did he
I'm very
die? He
specific.
got harried to death.
Mm-hmm.
So roll
ever
me
watch Boba
D4.
What am I rolling?
D4, because you do D4 damage.
There's my D4. That is a 2.
Okay.
To
Okay.
bees.
All right. So Scarson does a normal human thing and expel the cloud of
Stuff.
cubes. We're all
Nose
thinking
hairs.
it.
They're
We're
nose
all
hairs. Come
thinking
on. This is a Bobobo reference, right? Right? Am I the only one? No?
I think
Okay.
you're the only one.
All right. They're pubes then.
Great. Ugh. All right. So the air is filled with hairs. Giles, you are seeing this furious scene of hair flying and bees stinging the ever-letting crud out of your dwarf compatriot. What do you do?
Terrified at the auto manscaping that's happening right there. I'm gonna look at Girdwood and I'm gonna try to pull the one that's in his face, the half end. I'm gonna try to pull it out of his head before.
That's
All right.
not how you do it. Those are barbed.
Well, I
But okay.
I don't
Yeah.
deal with bees. I mean, I could push it in farther. I don't think that's gonna help any.
It's almost like shaving, how you have to get a bee sting out properly. Like you've got to come at it sideways and hook it and like pull it sideways out of your skin to get it out without the barb.
Here's your credit card.
Whereas wasps,
Oh.
those fuckers have smooth stingers, so they can just sting and sting and sting and sting over and over again, those little fucks.
Yep.
Okay.
So
that
are
being
you-
said, then I would like to carefully remove the one from his head.
Thank you. And if the tooth comes with it, you know what? Not the first tooth I've lost. Not the last tooth I'll lose.
Then go ahead and roll me agility, as you're definitely trying to dehook this and the throbbing sack of intestines and venom from his face.
Dexterity. That's a 16 on the nose, and it's a 16 on the skill, so equal.
All right. So you pull it out without dislodging a tooth. It hurts.
Well done, sir.
Girdwood, but it doesn't. You don't take any further damage from it or the sack of venom. This thing is like
I compliment him and I tell him he could be a barber.
It is very much like a barbed ink pen. Is how large the stinger is on this.
Man, like pomegranate with the those are some big bees.
Big
Yeah.
bees. Big bees.
Those are probably like something we'll be dealing with in real life before too long.
And they're probably going to make carpenter bees and just drill through buildings. But remember, though, during pandemic, that was one of the many plagues that we had upon our cities was the murder hornets. Abernathy, you have constructed this shadow puppet. So you can act and it can act on your turn.
Now, I can only make one puppet at a time, right?
If for the first level, correct.
Okay, cool. All right.
Also, you get to, when you've made your puppet, you get to improve one of the stats or features about the puppet, such as armor, hit points, damage. Did you pick which one you were going to do?
No, I did not, and I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to do its armor.
I'm now going to ask some questions that somebody who's read the whole manual would totally ask. Is this a homebrew class, or is this an OSC thing, or?
This is from the Old School and Cool Volume 1 that's in our shared drive. That was the Win Lothmer.
I didn't read all the classes, but that's amazing. I love this.
And they get to do some pretty interesting things with the puppets, especially at higher levels. So this is basic level.
Man,
but yes.
I hope they sent a copy to Thomas Legati.
I don't know what a Thomas Legati is.
No Thomas
You
Legati
just heard
fans?
Charles
Not a
so
one?
bad just now.
It's all right.
Okay.
You command your puppet to do.
I command my puppet to go far enough away from me as not to attract bees towards me. And then I want it to proceed to create a distraction to get the bees away. Basically, self-preservation mode. We're all being attacked. I have 3 hit points. I'm going to hide and have my puppet go do.
Okay. Your puppet runs to the other side of the room and begins to make a ruckus. What is it doing?
It's just going up there and can the puppets talk? It's a shadow puppet.
It is going to be quiet because any sound will be coming from you.
All right, so it's going to be quiet, but it's a black silhouette, which, as we all know, killer bees are attracted to things that are black and will attack it. So since it's a shadow puppet, it's the most attackable thing, and they're going to go after it as it makes little word bubbles, being like, "Bees are bitches." That's what B stands for. Your queen is pompous ass. She's just word bubbles that pop out of its mouth
To the matriarchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throwing insults at all the bees.
All right. As that is
Throwing
happening,
shade, dare we say?
Yes, exactly.
Girthwood, you just had this harpoon removed from your face. What is your next order of business, given the fact that you have 3
I'm
more
going to
bees lodged?
Disneyland. No, let's see. Well, smacking a bee didn't work out so well for me last time. But you know what? When all you've got is a hammer, or in my case, a big ass axe,
Everything looks like a
that's
bee.
not all I have. But yeah, everything looks smackable. So I'm going to smack the nearest. Oh, the ones that are stuck to me. See, I'm not sure how creative I can be within this system because, practical me would just say they're not going anywhere. So I should just be able to, without squashing one against me, so that it would drive the sting into me. I should be able to just grab it and pop it like a water balloon, right?
Do you want to try that and see what happens?
I would.
So
That's
you're
my
gonna drop
favorite
your-
GM. That was my favorite GM response. Is
Are you
let's see what happens.
Mhm.
are you dropping your axe so you get
right.
to speak with both hands? No, are you dropping your axe so you can speak it with both
Yeah,
hands?
fuck it.
Okay. You drop your
I'm gonna
axe
do
with a loud clang, and you try to grab the nearest bee. So Roll
No, not
me.
the nearest one out of the air. The ones that are lodged
Right,
in
right.
my.
The nearest bee.
in
I'm
my,
sure it could be one of the
chainmail.
shoulders.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly. Something. Yeah, whichever one is handy.
Roll me your attack.
And we're doing strength, or is this an attack roll?
This is an attack.
Okay,
attack
so low is good on
D20.
this, right?
No, so because we were doing ascending AC in this is where we kind of swap things. All your ability checks are stat or lower. An attack is you're trying to roll high to beat its AC because it's either that or we're doing THAC0.
Okay.
So you are trying to roll high in
Well,
this.
I just rolled a nat 1.
Oh no, yeah, making bee juice on a nat 1 is not great. So roll me an agility check.
Okay, let's see.
So now you want to roll your stat or low.
That's better. This is a 12.
Okay. Sorry, I keep saying agility. That's how much more correct. You know what I meant. Dexterity. So your dexterity is 8. So you want to roll 8 or lower. What did you roll?
A 12, which is higher.
All right. This is not your day, Girthwood.
No.
The bee, as you try to squeeze it out, pops out of your armor and just stings the hand you were trying to ring it with. Roll me D8.
Oh, you roll a d8. Let's find out
That's
if
right.
I'm dead.
I just don't like killing people. All right. That's a 6. So you take 6 points of damage from the
That
bee.
puts me at negative 3 HP.
Which kills the bee, and it kills Girthwood. Girthwood begins
Son of a
to
bitch.
swell up, and you see like the chainmail begin to just bulge with the force of his body swelling from the violent allergic reaction he's having from these bee stings. His hand becomes like this giant wad with like big sausages for fingers, and everything starts turning purple.
Didn't he ask if we were allergic to bees before we got into here?
It's not the first sting you're most allergic to, it's the second. Legitimately.
Yeah.
But don't we canonically have EpiPens? Can't we save them?
No.
I don't think we. I think I was making fun of the very idea of canonical EpiPens myself, and I'm the one who's now.
Girthwood, do you have something you'd like to say in your death thralls? As you're like foaming from the mouth? You will never forget your
My
last
dog's looking
words.
at me. Thank you. Felled by bees. That's how I'm going to go down in history. Girthwood felled by bees.
So, to add
Leopold, Girthwood,
insult to
felled by
injury,
bees.
not only did you just fail your crit, it's also the bee's turn. So, at least know that the bee that stung you died stinging you. So, there are 2 immediate bees left. But as I say that, 8 more bees fly out of the hive in response to the smell of crushed pheromone. The air does take on the decided smell of ripe bananas, and there is this strange lull in the droning sounds, and you hear this, and out from the beehive is this giant bee. In fact, the sides of the paper mache nest groan as it pops and blorps itself out. And on top of its head is a little paper mache crown. It's the queen bee. That puts us at 14 bees plus a queen bee. The entire time, the guy who is stuck in the beehive is just staring with horror as Girthwood's body begins to just swell up like a rotten balloon.
A rotten balloon?
Bees, yeah.
I stayed silent during blorp, but a rotten balloon, sir.
Yes,
like
because if you think
roadkill.
about it, there is no latex back in the medieval
Mine-
age. If there was
We
going
made them
to be a
with pig
balloon,
bladders.
exactly.
We've all seen Shrek.
I have not.
Every fair day.
sir.
Every fair day, they'd
Sorry
just be
for your
inflating pig bladders and putting them on. There was no helium either, so it was really strange, you know.
Swamp gas.
Bobbing along the ground, pig bladder on a string.
It's also in Little House on the Prairie. Fun fact.
See?
Did you learn that fact from reading Jessica McHugh erotic Little House on the Prairie poetry?
Not yet, but now I will.
So one of the other bees is not sure if Girthwood is dead, and this begins to violently sting his swollen meat hand. It also dies in the process, ripping free, and blood begins to just, instead of squirting out, oozes out like jelly from your hand as your blood begins to coagulate, and it looks very much like raspberry jam just coming out of you. That bee dies a grisly death. The first bee is going to go to the first party member that it sees, and rolling randomly, that is going to be Abernathy. I forgot that your puppet, we will kind of walk that back because you're going to be hiding. Abernathy, why don't you roll me your hide check? So for you, Abernathy, you're going to be... Your main hiding ability is for outdoors as a halfling, but indoors, it is slightly different. It is... roll me D100.
D100? D100?
Holy shit!
That I believe to be an
You guys
80.
weren't kidding. That does
All
sound
right.
like he dropped in appliance.
You think that you are hidden. So roll me D12.
D12.
Let's see how many bees are distracted by your hand puppet.
If I rolled a 3, would that mean that just 3 bees are distracted?
Yes, 3
Then,
bees.
then I rolled a 13.
3 bees head right towards your puppet, and you invested in a higher armor class. Rolled in that 19 on the first one, so it stings the shit out of your puppet for just 2 points of damage. That bee takes 2 points of damage, but given the hairs that came from a very normal human, that bee explodes, and as its intestines are ripped out from stinging. The next bee stings your shadow puppet, also actually manages to strike it, does 1 point of damage to it and does not die. And the third bee stings your shadow puppet, rolls a nat 1, and that gives your puppet a chance to counterattack it. So go ahead and roll me D20 for your puppet's attack, Abernathy.
That is a 1.
So that is not good either. So the bee has a chance to counterattack your counterattack, and does not manage to hit in return. That puts us at 6 more bees. We're going to just see. Goodness gracious. Skarsden, a bee flies towards you and attempts to sting, but goes wide. Okay, miss. Hit. Giles, a bee drones towards you.
Are we gonna get a TPK tonight?
It's possible. Giles, roll me D8.
Okay.
Jiles said the correct instinct about this room.
That's a 5.
Giles, tell me how this plays out.
Let me just make this from a 5 to a 0 real quick. So
Oh no!
Jiles is standing here just absolutely terrified, seeing his friend who he just pulled the ass end of a bee out of his face just get completely
And the tank
annihilated
of the party too.
yeah. Swell up, all these other bees coming out of the hive. Just this weird puppet just doing whatever. Abernathy can't be found, or at least I haven't found him yet. And as I finally focus back onto the hive, one catches me dead center mass, and injects me with its goo. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Well,
Oh no, Giles.
it at least also dies with you. But this is not going how this room I thought. Maybe kicking the door open in general and saying surprise has not worked out very well.
It worked out the last time.
So
Did it
can we
though?
officially blame this on Abernathy?
100%.
Giles, if it
This
makes you
time it was
feel
my
better,
fault.
the last random bee attack goes for your corpse.
Oh, fantastic. What
Roll
what
me
is
D8.
Inky doing? Oh, okay.
That's a very good question. Inky looks very mournful as he's stuck in the jar on your dead body.
8.
8? That bee fucking explodes as it stings you. It like stings right through your spell book, triggering like magic missile, and the bee explodes in a shower of gore and viscera.
So does it
puts us-
trigger magic missile, you say?
Yeah.
Where does this magic missile go? And could it go towards the queen? And can I roll damage?
It goes into the bee and the bee explodes.
Oh, and the bee. Okay, all right. I'll allow it. One last
That's-
hoorah.
Exactly. The queen bee herself attempts to sting Scrax, but is so heady and not aerodynamic and just flies menacingly above you. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bees left and the queen bee. Scrax.
All right, so I'm going to drop to my knees. Lord Basiliscus, please hear my prayer. Allow this sacrifice to be made in your honor and save me a seat beside you on the great hot rock that awaits us all in the end. And then I am going to Leroy Jenkins towards the queen bee with my arms flapping like my Lord Basiliscus, the Jesus lizard, just like the running across the water with, yeah.
First thing,
I love that Leroy Jenkins is a verb. That's just great.
It needs to be to Leroy Jenkins. Transitive verb. I love old school concept of clinging to deities. So roll me your D100. And if you don't have one, I know someone who has one.
Oh, please. And may we hear the sound.
Clear off the dice tray.
Prepare for meteor
Randomizing.
strike.
Okay, that didn't land well, so it's honestly between 27, 16, 43. Should I just roll again?
If you don't know which one it is, then yes.
Yes.
That's a big
Which one
range.
sounds good?
You just painted a bunch of numbers on a bowling ball, didn't you?
32.
Okay. Make your attack, Scrax, against the queen bee.
That's an 18.
Okay. You strike the queen bee true. Unlike the other ones, which are like the size of a hand, this thing is the size of an American football.
But I'm just slapping. Like, that's all I got.
You're not using a tail slap or a bite. You're
I'm
just
slapping with my hands. I windmilled towards her. That's what I did.
But you're a lizard, so you should have claws, right?
Right. I do have claws.
Mhm.
Oh, are you going to use your Because that was something that. Let me just check. You had an actual claw attack, didn't you? Oh, he's just bite or
I
tail.
just have bite.
Okay.
Yeah, bite her.
Well, not unless she falls into my mouth. I'm flailing.
It's a pretty good
You
slap.
don't understand
Okay.
how badly I need this character to die at some point so I can at least see what happens.
Okay. I'm going to say your unarmed attack is probably going to do D4 damage. So roll me your damage.
Come on. That's a 1.
Guys, we're doing great.
You had a solid hit against the queen. You do 1 point of damage. You just.
Yeah. It's just
I love it. You
Made her eyes water.
jostle and you knock off her crown.
ooh, she's gonna be pissed.
Pick it up and put on.
Can I wear it?
Oh, do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I pick up the crown, I remove my fez, and I wear
There
the
is
crown.
a quick silence of the bees, even all of the bees that are inside the thing. You have gravely insulted her majesty. The sound of the anger of the bees rises to a fever pitch after the initial
The sound of the anger of the
silence. The
bees.
susurrus becomes roar, and you know that you have gained the ire of the entire hive. Next in initiative, Scarson.
Can you hear it, Clarice?
Starscan kind of crouches for a second and then, like, full leg telescoping, leaps backwards, jettisoning himself towards the door.
So are you
Nice.
Smart.
fleeing, or are you doing something to the door?
I'm fleeing the fuck out of this place.
So Scarson, like a normal human being, jumps to the door and runs out.
If I can get out of the door, as soon as I hit the darkness, I'm using my assassin ability to hide.
Okay. Absolutely.
So
Next-
so those of you who are alive see Starscan like and then vanish.
Giles, you are still
That's how we got
frothing as you are in your death throes. Do you elect to thrash around wildly, or do you just accept the grave quietly?
I am going to.
Thrash.
I'm gonna just go very still, stare off into nothing,
It's
and say, "I was Giles
And
the Bland,
die.
apprentice and ward to Adorius the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards in all the land, and a real bad teacher."
and everything is calm and everything feels peaceful. Abernathy,
Yeah.
your puppet, let's resolve the action first. It's been stabbed twice by bees,
Mm-hmm.
but it is still intact. Oh, actually, you never rolled me the hit points. Roll me D4, because that's how many hit points it has.
Will the paper mache actually rip their stingers out?
Well, it was a 2.
Okay, so your puppet was ripped to shreds by the two
The shreds, you say?
two shreds. So it's just you, Abernathy.
Yeah. It's just me in here and 2 dead people and some almost dead person. And
The lizard looks fine.
for
The
now,
lizard has a crown.
all hail
Basiliscus.
that's Queen of
Yes,
the
queen.
Bees. Yeah, Abernathy sees how this is going and is just like, well, this has been fun, gang. I'm just gonna take this here package right there, and he's gonna try to scoot out of the room,
Wait, what are you doing with the package?
grabbing it and trying to scoot out because we have a delivery to make, and this path is not clear.
I thought you were wiping it in the remnants of your friends. That's why I was just checking. Okay.
Oh, thanks for the idea. As I leave, I wipe it.
You just dunk
Wish I thought about
into Girthwood, dunk it into Jiles.
all good for a week.
So you're retreating. So here's an important question before the next round. Are you just retreating to the staircase, or are you running away wildly? In the Stygian library, if you need to flee from something, you can flee. You just don't know where you're going to end up if you're blindly running away. But that's different from a tactical retreat.
So my option is to tactically retreat or just GTF, and who knows where I'll be.
Well, that's what I also need to know from Skarsgård, but it sounds like Skarsgård must be more intentional with waiting for things coming behind him. Correct?
Yeah, mine is definitely tactical. In fact, as soon as I'm out of the door and in the shadows, I probably scaled the wall.
Well, wall is weird because you're kind of in that staircase and there's really nothing on the other side but the abyss. There's a little bit of wall where the door is, but other than that, there's not like a contained stairwell that you were descending.
Gotcha.
If that changes your actions.
No, I tactically left and hid.
Okay. So, Abernathy, did you make your choice?
You know, this has been pretty chaotic. I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna run wildly into the abyss and hope that maybe I wind up towards where we need to go.
Okay, that is going to be an interesting decision. Are you okay to put a pin in that until we see how things play out with Scrax?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I feel like I know how it's gonna go, though.
Okay.
I have a plan, just FYI.
All right, so Scrax, your party has abandoned you, but you feel the steely gaze of your messiah upon you. And you will also see the also equally steely but beady gazes of 5 bees plus the queen.
Wait, BD or BD?
BD. BD eyes.
Okay.
BD brave eyes.
I was like, B?
All right.
Beads?
So you're getting 5 bees coming your direction. B1.
Gonna sell beads.
So your AC currently is 14. So you get stung by the first bee. Roll me your D8.
That's an 8.
Oh,
Okay. So there's good news, bad news, and good news, and bad news.
Okay. I'm
Which
ready.
do you want first?
How about the good bad news?
Okay, the good bad news is you die, which is bad. But the good news is that bee that stung you basically explodes from the effort of stinging you. You're windmilling your arms, it stings you, you smack it as it stings you, you rip out, like it goes sailing, and the intestines of it goes coiling out after it, like, and you snap, and you just have a sack of venom, and the harpoon of it stuck through your heart, and it's just pumping venom into your veins.
I activate acid death.
That's the good news. So the other bad news is that you die, but the good news is the lizardling race has acid death, which is pretty phenomenal.
Cool.
Can you roll me your D8 damage from that? Basically,
Absolutely.
upon 0
I need to
HP,
find a
the
surgeon
lizardling
willing to do
instantly
that for me
dissolves
in real life.
into a 10-foot wide pool of acid that does D8 damage for D6 rounds.
Oh,
brutal.
It's a 7.
wow.
Yeah.
I definitely want to find somebody to do unethical surgery on me so that can happen to me when I die.
I'll call Fulgrim.
So,
Okay, cool.
Fulgrim didn't do the surgery, though. It was
I know, but I didn't want to get into it.
babyish bile. But
And
So-
bile's in the webway, and the question is which bile, and I want bile primus. So, yeah, nothing but the
good-
best for me.
the good news is you liquefy the rest of the bees. The bad news is the queen bee is still alive, but you have just utterly melted her face and her crown dissolves with you.
Yeah.
Actually, roll me d6. Let's see if the queen bee is going to survive this acid damage.
That's not right. That's a D8. 5.
So the good news is, eventually the queen bee dies and will melt away. The bad news is, I will let you pick this. Does your acid splash melt the guy who is stuck inside of the hive?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
fuck
guy.
that guy.
Please.
Yeah. He was judging us the whole time.
Yeah.
Time.
Real dick.
Okay.
Rolling his fucking eyes.
Drink acid, loser.
So here's a couple of things that happen. Scarson, you hover outside the room, waiting to ambush whatever comes from the other side. None of your party comes out.
Yeah.
As far as you know, you are the lone survivor of this event. Do you go back in and...
My plan is to search for the librarians and offer my services to the library as another security entity. I'm giving myself to.
You could eat
I'm
all
giving-
the bugs
I'm-
that probably eat the books.
I am offering myself to the Stygian library.
That is interesting.
I am not of the world I left, and this world is as interesting and good as any other world. So,
Okay. So, over time, you would be accepted by the librarians into the Order of the Grey Librarians. You get your own cloak, and you are the largest and the most strange-looking of the librarians. But you know over time that you become just as diminutive and warped by the weight of the responsibility and the burden of all the knowledge upon your shoulders, shrinking you down to their size and form. Meanwhile, Abernathy, you run blindly through the library, which means that there is a mechanic where we roll how many layers you go deeper into the library without knowing exactly where you are ending up.
Yes.
Where you end up, there is well, the first thing you notice are like street lamps, and what seems to be like the floor, instead of floorboard planks, are large flag cobblestones. In a way, it almost resembles a little bit of like Victorian England. There is sidewalk and
Ooh, Jack the
cobblestone.
Ripper. Come on and get Abernathy, I hope.
There
First of all, not a
are
prostitute.
metal bookcases that
They're all
are filled with
prostitutes.
leather-lined tomes. In the distance, you smell brimstone and see a large set of red metal gates. Little puffs of gas and fire rolling out of it.
I found the door to hell.
Have fun at the wedding, man, or whatever it is.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. I think.
it's a birthday. He's dropping off a birthday gift.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Have fun at the birthday party.
It's a Cenobite birthday party.
What do you do, Abernathy?
I'm at a door.
Kick it open and yell surprise.
Yes. It worked out for me last time when I did it. Yeah, why not? We've come this far.
All right. So the closer you get to this, you
I
see
built a
that
puppet first.
what?
I built a puppet first.
What? Okay. What's your puppet?
Shadow puppet again.
Okay.
Same buff as before.
Okay.
And 1 hit point.
So as you get closer to this, you see that, first it kind of like red metal. It's just blood red wood. The stone frame is completely encrusted with like stalactites that hang off of it, probably made of all the sulfur that's rolling out of this door. The whole thing, door frame and lock, is engraved with the horrible sigils that hurt the meat of your brain as you look upon it. What is it that you do?
I open the door and say surprise.
Are you doing this timidly, or are you kicking it in and saying surprise? Like what?
I
what are you
mean,
doing?
let's be honest. It's been an ordeal. Abernathy has one of two ways of going about this. Either, fuck, I'm here. Let's just fucking get this over with. Package, like, just puppet, here, you hold this. Surprise! Pointing at the box. Or, I'm fucking tired. I'm done. Surprise, motherfucker! Throws the box in. Like, those are the only two, and I feel like the first one is what I want to do.
Well, which one are you doing? And let's commit to it.
Let's commit to the first one then.
Okay, roll me D10.
D10. 4.
Okay. So you open the door and say, surprise. There is a squat little demon. It's ochre in color. It's about 2 feet high. It has long, gangly limbs, a bulbous body, 2 little horns, and 2 little beady black eyes in the center of its face. It smiles with too many teeth. Most of them are serrated, and sees the package and grabs it from you. He looks at the package and sees the handwriting on it, and he goes, "Oh, this is for Rogelman. And remember my spawning day. Thank you."
Yeah,
I love him.
you're welcome.
Yeah. You here for the party?
Yeah, I'm here for the party. Let's party.
This sounds like it's about to become the least appetizing orgy I've ever been to.
I keep picturing the Mennonites.
In the distance, you hear like sounds of violent flagellation and screaming. Do you want to come to the party?
I'm gonna sit this one out. I think I gotta get back to. I gotta get back to anywhere else. Really, all of my friends died, and I didn't get to kill any of them.
Oh, okay. Well, it's my spawning day.
All right, fine. I'll stay for a
Oh,
piece
you
of
are.
cake. I'll hang out. What are we doing?
then-
Cake stands? Is there cake stands here? You're 21, right?
So as the scene begins to play out, the question is: do you want to know what was inside the box? Or do you
Yeah.
want-
Please tell me about Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
You
Yeah, that's
see.
a good question.
You see Ignis rip open the box and put on his new, like, bunny-footed pajamas
Yeah.
that are made from human flesh. It might
Ah,
also have a lot of, like,
Yay.
wailing, screaming mouths all over it.
that's
And
delightful.
Abernathy is
Yay.
taken into the bowels of hell. So that brings us to the end of this chapter, very unexpectedly, of the Stygian
Yeah.
Library.